Right now, I'm going to teach you a meditation for positive energy exercise called Transcend or Burn Through. That's only 2 minutes, so you can finally stop stress and anxiety by taking positive and energetic control of your life. This meditation for positive energy technique is the 7th of 7 in this week's series. It's super simple and you will know how well it works for you straight away. After the 2-minute meditation for positive energy, I'll also outline the origins of, as well as the best and worst elements of, modern culture and why a collapse of sorts is inevitable. But to counter and in some ways answer the culture issue, I also offer a joyous expression of consciousness, growing possibility. And I'll guide you in integrating everything you learned today in a special finale exercise. I'm Speed Psychologist and best-selling author Aleks George, and we're now in session. First, give yourself a current mood rating, 1 being very low to 10 being very high mood, and a second 1 being very low to 10 being very high stress/anxiety rating. Just go with whatever mood number or stress anxiety number that first comes to mind. Now, I need you to promise me that I will have your full attention and best effort for just 2 minutes, okay? If you are sure that you can do that right now, then get ready. Also, please note, make sure you are in a safe place, and if you feel unusually uncomfortable during any exercise, stop immediately and go have a drink of water. So, are you ready? Really? To feel better? Just 2 minutes from now. You sure? Great. Let's begin. Sit up tall, shoulders back, head up, and close or shield your eyes if safe to do so. Now follow my simple instructions. Breathe deep, be strong, focus all of your attention on relaxing into the rhythm and flow of these meditative rhymes that grow your consciousness. Open your consciousness, not just higher, but wider, not just deep, but one that does seep even when you sleep, so you may supersede disbelief and find relief in knowing a flowing reality does bend like light through each end of a pristine prism. Transcend with the kaleidoscopic refraction, spreading yourself broad and bright. Excite and ignite with each prism faced, finally burning through the ends into new beginnings, where grand insights become pure winnings, earning the learnings that can only come from soulful strivings. It is your energetically evocative, positive prerogative to now allow an intense new insight, a life change for immediate use will come in 3, 2, 1. There it is. Excite and ignite, be broad and bright and burn through the ends into new beginnings. That's right. That's right. That's it. We're done. Simple, right? Easy, hey? Feeling better? I'm sure. Really, check in now and review if your mood and stress anxiety scores have improved. If you gave me your full attention and best effort, then I bet they have. How much did they improve? 10%? 20? 30? 50? Or more? And in just 2 minutes? If your scores didn't improve, that's okay. You may just need a few more repetitions, or may find it easier to benefit from a different 2-minute brain exercise. I will release 7 related meditations over the week, and they're always just a couple of minutes. Each exercise builds on the last, and they become easier to do and more effective as you get used to them. Before we move on, I want you to really consider how your life could be better by consistently using these kinds of exercises. What would it be like to be in control and unaffected rather than being controlled by the news and social media, work bullies, and negative people? What would it feel like to have greater peace of mind and focus so you can perform at your best and feel good about who you are and what you do? In a moment, I'm going to answer 1 or 2 modern psychology questions from the community. To connect with me and the community, just go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. You can, of course, like, rate, subscribe, and follow me on this channel, but to enjoy free giveaways like my best-selling books and programs, which are only available to subscribers through the website, and to personally ask me and get an answer to your own important psychology question, it must be through my free-to-join email list. Questions like, how do I know if I'm depressed? Which I answered in episode 1 of this Meditation for Positive Energy series. And then all the way back in episode 7 from the Meditation for Anxiety series, I answered, why do we always criticize ourselves the most? And also, is there such a thing as life purpose? And if so, how does one find their own? The only way you will be able to ask me your question is by reply emailing me once you're on the list. The sooner you join, the more bonus goodies you'll get, like early access benefits to the 2-Minute Brain app currently in development that takes exercises like the one you just experienced and connects them sequentially with others into fantastic brain-flowing peak performance experiences. It will allow you to become your own mental health and peak performance DJ. Sound good? Really good? Almost too good? Then go sign up now and get all the latest updates from the 2minutebrain.com email list. Okay, riddle me this, Bat Psych. Has culture been built on a foundation of exploitation of both nature and people? Well, culture is a multifaceted concept. Like the weather, it's extremely complex and can never be fully predicted. Now let's look at the principles of nature first. The goal of everything in nature is survival, either of oneself or at least one's genes, and by extension, one's species. There are basically only 2 ways to increase your chances of survival: competition and cooperation. Now, competition, in a sense, is about power, and cooperation is about harmony, or perhaps even love at its highest level. For a species, or in this case a culture, to thrive, a balance of both is required. Now, balance doesn't mean equality. It doesn't mean 50-50. It just means having the right amount of each. The reason humans are the dominant species is less due to competitiveness and more to do with cooperation. It's because we can cooperate via our advanced language and tools that we are able to have the most control over our environments. Cooperation actually gives more power, and as power increases and differences start to widen between people and cultures, competition increases. The majority want harmony. They want to feel that things are fair, but as certain people, whether through merit or exploitation, gain power, competitiveness often takes over as the dominant mode of interaction, and harmony starts to diminish until the power-focused explode or implode, and the process starts again, usually from a base of stronger cooperation. The issue is as power increases, so too does the chance of system corruption, where the ultra-competitive will start to game, these days most often by changing laws and reducing accountability, and exploit all systems of nature and people and technology for their own benefit until it collapses. So, is culture built on a foundation of exploitation? I would actually say no. The foundation is cooperation, but once it reaches a certain level of power, corruptive factions break off in order to exploit for their own gain and leave the majority with less power, freedom, and resources. I would say our culture has become so corrupt that a collapse of a kind will occur within the next decade, and in the aftermath, the chances of greater cooperation will start to build a new culture. Now, a collapse of culture doesn't necessarily mean fire and destruction. A culture can explode or implode. I would much prefer it implodes, where the majority become wise enough and strong enough to simply stop our most greedy and self-destructive habits and find better, simpler, fairer, and more sustainable solutions to our biggest issues and indulgences. Want to ask me your own question? Just go over to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. At the moment, I'm personally answering people's questions pretty quickly, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow me on this channel. I'm happy to answer questions on mental health, such as stress, anxiety, mood, painful events, happiness, work-life performance, relationships, intimate, family, friends, kids, and of course the state of the world and why we do what we do. Before we continue, I want to explain what 2-Minute Brain is all about, because it's both as simple and not as simple as it seems. The first and most obvious goal is to offer the fastest and most practical methods to reduce mental health struggles and reach peak performance, so you can meet the demands of this often overwhelming and ultra-competitive modern world. The sad truth is, you do have to learn how to consistently be at your best, or you will be left behind. That's what these speed brain rewiring strategies are all about. These are the essential skills, but that's only the part of the iceberg that's above the surface. The second, much deeper goal is about members of this community reaching their highest forms of self-expression. Here, we are no longer talking about peak performance, but peak freedom. Good living is not just about productively functioning well. It's about wrestling with complex moral issues, paradoxical laws of nature, human contradiction, and seeking profound and immeasurable truths. This is where we dive deeply into the murky depths of existence and seek to free our self-expression. And in true 2-Minute Brain style, I'll also explore these topics just a couple minutes at a time via an impassioned monologue. So stick around if you want to spread your arms wide, crank up Celine Dion to volume 11, and safely explore rather than crash into the iceberg that is human consciousness and potential. We're nearing the end of today's session. Soon, I will summarize it all and get you focused on using what you have found most helpful in one final, fun, and fast meditative exercise. But before the finale, it's time for today's 2-minute monologue, which usually consists of a metaphorical poetic performance where I often intentionally don't give clear advice or answers, that will hopefully stimulate you to also explore and find your own deeper truths within and greater self-expressive courage. It's our 6th Symbolic Saturday. Today's brief poetic monologue is titled New World's Birthing, and is a poetic piece celebrating times where deep freedom and creative possibility is felt and expressed. New world's birthing. I'm standing. I'm alive. Vibrant and vibrating. Breathing worlds in and breathing even better worlds out. Shifting realities. I'm stepping on stars and bewowing supernova displays of brilliance. Anything is possible. My experience is becoming an expression that is an extension of crumbling boundaries. It's also owie, ow, ooh, yeah, it's good. Better than good, as it should be. Don't you see, with your spirit rising? Dance right now. I dance and leap and flow and grow in magnificent ways. It's more than a craze or a phase or a perceptual haze. This is truth. I have it bestowed upon me, the knowledge that I decide what it all means. I know who I am, and I don't know who I am. An explorer, a seeker, and a finder of surprise and delight, and a might gentle enough to take flight. It's out of sight, baby. Worlds are coming together. I am coming into one, and back out into billions, upon trillions, upon gazillions of elements seen and unseen, known and unknown, emerging and creating and dazzling, even if only briefly, in some instances. Don't forget your face. For too long caked in ice, it's thawing. I can feel it now, rebirthing into expressive feasts. Utilize the force and finesse within. Free it. Free. Ecstasy, bliss, 1,000 kisses. Electric, a gasping breath, a glorious overwhelm. I feel it now, tingling and harmonizing, singing like it has never sung before. A song of rapture, of life overflowing, of time and space colliding and confiding, sharing secrets previously unknown. I am seeing through. Symbols have come to life. A dog at my feet, a woman by my side, powerful allies behind me, and behind them infinite possibility, surging forward and through to the other side. I am shooting starlight, hurling and curling and twirling and unfurling through space. Sometimes it feels like, but it is not a race or a chase. Let it all burst through my face and fingers and feet. No retreat, no defeat, only purity. There is a security in the purity of aliveness that I feel right now. I am going to have to go to dark and difficult places, but I will create and find the right faces to meet and greet, and new worlds will be born. If you're having fun, make sure you like and subscribe and follow this channel, and also go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. Now, let's bring all of it meaningfully together in an integrative exercise that will conclude today's session. Sit up tall, shoulders back, head up, and close or shield your eyes if safe to do so. Now listen and follow along closely. Excite and ignite. Excite and ignite. Be broad and bright and burn through ends into new transcending beginnings. Now consider what you learned today about how culture is created. Things like recognizing the two competing forces of competition and harmony within us all. Understanding the risk all systems face of corruption. Why cooperation is the actual core of cultural progress. Or something else. Also now consider what you learned today about celebrating times of deep freedom and creative possibilities. Things like inventing your own words, mentally animating important symbols, raising your imaginative expectations, safely expressing what seems out of this world absurd. Or maybe now reflect on something else that occurred to you throughout our time together. Of all these things, what most struck a chord and feels right? Envision how you will use this now and in the future. And notice how you will have changed looking back on this moment and the next, all the way until you are where you wish to be. Allow all the lessons now to come together, to ripple through you, and now changed back out into the world. That's right. That's right. To connect with me and the community, just go to 2minutebrain.com and join the email list. You can of course like, rate, subscribe and follow me on this channel, but to enjoy free giveaways like my best-selling books and programs, which are only available to subscribers through the website, and to personally ask me and get an answer to your own important psychology question, it must be through my free-to-join email list. Questions like, how do I know if I'm depressed? Which I answered in episode 1 of this Meditation for Positive Energy series. And then all the way back in episode 7 from the Meditation for Anxiety series, I answered, why do we always criticize ourselves the most And also, is there such a thing as life purpose? And if so, how does one find their own? The only way you will be able to ask me your question is by reply emailing me once you're on the list. The sooner you join, the more bonus goodies you'll get, like early access benefits to the 2-Minute Brain app currently in development that takes exercises like the one you just experienced and connects them sequentially with others into fantastic brain-flowing peak performance experiences. It will allow you to become your own mental health and peak performance DJ. Sound good? Really good? Almost too good? Then go sign up now and get all the latest updates from the 2minutebrain.com email list. And I'll see you, all of you, whether you believe it yet or not, in our next session.